than that. You're right, I am, but they are not. 20 miles, there's these billboards that say things like big fun waiting in Uranus, live bait in Uranus. Their main attraction, the thing that they want you to pull off the highway for, is a fudge factory. The Uranus Fudge Factory. The slogan on the billboards is, "The best fudge comes from Uranus." And if you think for a second that that's gonna make me pull off the road and add an hour to my trip to go buy some fudge from this fudge factory, you know me, because that's exactly what I'm gonna do. As I walked out, they said, "Thanks for picking Uranus."
Bondzee live, Trippin With Bondzee on YouTube.
All that, I gotta stop this. Holy the madness here. Well, how do I hold on? There, we already saw that. How the hell are you? It's Bondzee. It's difficult doing this shit on your own. I used to have a producer, but he's flaky, and then friends are busy, so it's all good. You got me. It's Bondzee Live, Trippin With Bondzee on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. We are live from the hip bar San Juan Del Sur, as you can see. We're at episode 228. It's amazing to be back here. I really do love it. It's the hip bar. It's San Juan Del Sur. This place is absolutely stunning to be at. It's sure beats being in Canada, I'll tell you that right now. Really looking forward to the show tonight. We got a special guest. He's an Iboga expert and a director. Love this guy. It's Mark Howard. I'm fascinated by Iboga and the benefits of it and everything. So that's coming up very shortly because he's standing by. So we're going to do the interview first, and then we'll get into the show. Like I said, we're live here from the hip bar, San Juan Del Sur. We also got some great guests coming up over the next little while. I'm going to sit down next week, or actually 2 weeks. I think the other guy will be here. I'm sitting down with two real pirates. I'm not even kidding. These guys are legit pirates out in the seas, and it's going to be super awesome for sure. We're going to sit down and have an amazing conversation, and we got some more great musicians coming up on the show as well. All right, the show is brought to you by Shakespeare's Fine Dining. It's in Hamilton, Ontario. You know the place. You love it. I love it. Let me get to this here. There we go. Please go to Shakespeare's Fine Dining if you're in the Hamilton area. Even if you're not, I highly recommend you go there. Please make a reservation. It's 905-528-0689 or go to www.shakespeares.ca. Also, the show is brought to you by this place where we're live at. It's the Hip Bar, folks. Such a great place. Come in and check it out. It's for sale, too. So if you're up in Canada and you're all pissed off and you're hating the winter, listen, pack your shit up, quit your job, and come down here and buy a goddamn bar. Look at this place. It's absolutely amazing. Why wouldn't you? I did it at one point, sold mine, and now I just do my own thing. But I think you'll love it. Check it out. They got daily food specials, drink specials. It's definitely a great place to be. All right, here we are as the blender goes off in the background. It's Bondzee Live. Listen, like I said, I'm on my own. I got to get to do everything here tonight on my own. Stoney, listen, we made it, bro. No internet problems tonight. We were supposed to be live Monday. I have to apologize to Billy Pettinger, Billy the Kid, amazing musician from Vancouver. She was supposed to join us. Sadly, we missed her, and we'll see what we can do to get her back on the show. I was going to go live last night, but couldn't get Billy, and she wasn't available. And it was Valentine's Day. Literally, I think one of the worst holidays, or not a holiday, but a calendar day. It's the biggest bullshit day on planet Earth. You know what I mean? Like, so fake. If you're one of those dudes, or ladies for that matter, and you need a calendar to tell you what day to love your goddamn significant other and spend copious amounts of money, jewelry, dinners, boo, it just doesn't matter. It goes on and on and on. It's nonsense. Nobody cares. It's such a farce. It almost made I'm so glad to be single for the past. I don't know. It's been too long, but it really is. It's one of those days. It just comes and goes. Anyways, God bless you if you had a great day yesterday. What I call the stupidest day on the calendar by far. But listen, I had fun last night. It was only out for a little bit, and then that was it. Anyways, like I said, we're here at San Juan Del Sur, Nicaragua at the Hip Bar. Flight school. Well, we'll get to flight school in a minute. Let's talk about being back in Nicaragua. So I was supposed to be here in December. As we all know, my best friend passed away, and I had to deal with that issue and the funeral arrangements and stuff. And then I had to take a little break after that. Anyways, we're here, San Juan. I really do love this place. It's pretty exceptional to be here, where the food's amazing. The people are amazing. The locals are just like the nicest people in the world. It's safe. It's one of the biggest questions, most like asked question I ever get. Oh my God, Nicaragua, you go there? Can you believe it? It's so dangerous. No, it's not. Stop it. Just don't listen to the bullshit media. It's not dangerous here. I mean, sure, you can go down the street and maybe get robbed or whatever, but that's going to fucking happen at any goddamn town you're in, anywhere. If you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, shit's going to happen. But it doesn't happen here very often in Nicaragua, contrary to popular belief in the media. Anyways, it really is awesome here. Colonial towns, I love it. I can't wait to go back up to Granada. I think I'm going to go up to Leon this year. I've never been up into the north of Nicaragua, so I'm really looking forward to that. Going fishing tomorrow. Can't wait to go fishing with friends. This is always an awesome time. So my buddy texted me today. He goes, Bondzee, what's the boat we're going out in tomorrow? Can you send me a picture? So I sent this. I said, yep, there's the boat we're going out in tomorrow. And right away, he was like, totally laughed about it. Anyways, that's not the boat we're going out on. That's the wonderful boat we're going out on. Bob Marlin Charters. Love this guy. Love that. It's the boat that old Bondzarelli here used to captain back in the day. And my friends made this for me also this afternoon. I thought it was pretty funny, too. The old Gilligan crew, they listen to Trippin With Bondzee, too. So that's pretty awesome. I'm really looking forward to going fishing tomorrow. What else? Yeah, so listen, everybody asked me while I'm here, too. Bondzee, how long are you here for? Well, it depends. As most of you know and watch the show, I'm going to flight school. Well, if they'll have me. It's not that flight school won't have me. It's Transport Canada who has to give you a medical clearance to be able to go to flight school. So here's where we're at. Well, Bondzarelli here went to go do his aviation medical 2 days before he came here. And before I went, you have to send the paperwork in. Send the paperwork in. I immediately got a call from the doctor. He's like, yeah, Bondzee, we have a serious problem. And so I said, well, what was that? Because, I mean, I do have a plethora of problems internally and mentally and all of that stuff. But anyways, I've had kidney stones 7 times in my life, which really sucks. Haven't had one in 7 years, knock on wood. But having kidney stone history is a major red flag if you're trying to be a pilot. Last thing you need is to be up there flying your solo hours and you get a kidney stone, you're buckled over and you nosedive right into the ground. Kidney stone won't kill you, but crashing in a plane whilst having a kidney stone will. Especially if you have 200-300 passengers on board. So anyways, I'm a red flag. Shocking, I know. So whilst in Nicaragua, Bondzee has to go to the doctor and get a kidney scan to see if there's any stones in my kidneys. If they're clean and free, I'm good to go, and I will be home sooner than later from said Nicaragua to go to flight school right away. If there's kidney stones in my kidneys, I'm probably going to stay a little longer and ride it out, and because it's going to take extra time. Have to go home, get the kidney stones blasted, take them out, blah, 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 and then I'll be able to reapply and get my ass to flight school where they won't let me go up in a plane until I get medical clearance. Follow me? Good. That's where we're at. So we'll see how it goes. Going for my kidney scan next week. Fingers crossed, there's no kidney stones. And not that I don't want to stay here. I love this place to death, and I fucking hate winters back home. But I think most importantly, it's best if I go and get this done and get to flight school ASAP. All right, I've kept him waiting long enough. I rambled on long enough. I got to get to this because he's got to go. Listen, I'm really excited to talk to this guy. He's an Iboga. I got to ask, I think it's Iboga, right? Anyways, it's Mark Howard. He's the Iboga expert, and he's going to tell us all about it. Mark, thanks for joining us on Trippin With Bondzee. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Yeah, great. So I appreciate you taking the time to do this because you are on the road. You're actually dealing with some business stuff too with your Iboga business. And I always wanted to call it Iboga for some reason, but it's Iboga, right? Am I saying it right?
You call No, Iboga is fine. Iboga is good.
Iboga. Okay. All right. It's funny, Mark, because I think I knew of you long before you knew of me, simply because of the documentary you did, and I believe you directed it, right? The Psychedelic Frontier, or did you just direct the part with Pat, or how did that work?
Well, I kind of I mean, what's a director, right? I guess an official job of the director is to direct the movie, but I mean, when you're working with medicine and you're directing the healings, often your input becomes directive of the movie.
Gotcha. So I mean, you may have known me because you did work closely with Pat for quite a while, and you actually did. And we're going to talk about this a little later in the interview. But you spent quite a bit of time with Pat and actually filmed. It's what's part of the psychedelic frontier, and we'll get into all that later. Anyways, where should we go here? So life's busy. I just met you. Sadly, I met you under sad circumstances at Pat's funeral. But from what I understand, you're back and forth from Vancouver to Mexico all the time. That's a pretty hefty flights and busy time, yeah?
Yeah, totally. Just going back and forth between Mexico and Canada. Like the legal status of Iboga is a little sketchy in Canada, and so especially putting myself out there a bunch of times, working with a lot of different people and things. You can hear me. Sorry.
That's okay.
I had a phone call come in and knocked my volume off right at this time, so now I'm winging it. We're working towards the legalization of Iboga in Canada, and it will start with the medicalization of a certain alkaloid from Iboga called Ibogaine. Ibogaine has extreme effective results when coming to like opiate abuse, detoxes. It has an ability at like a physical level to scrub. Let's just call it scrub receptors in someone's bodies. It's sort of like has the ability, like say you have a tower there setting off signals. You know, you always want to fill that tower up with the pleasure, but then if you stop taking the opiates that you loaded onto that receptor with pleasure, then they reach out wanting pleasure, and that's where withdrawals become severely pain and addiction. People just can't even go against their own thoughts to stop, even though it's detrimental to their health. So what Ibogaine can come do is clean off those receptors, replace and fix and heal them, so they're not sending signals out and trying to send signals back, and let the brain have a little bit of time to sort of reflect on what's life instead of always like what kind of drugs they're going to get next.
So let's go right back to the beginning. How did you get into Iboga? And I know from what I understand and read, you spent time in the jungle of Gabon, Africa, and went over there with how do you say it, the Bwiti shamans, if you will, or is it Witty shamans?
Yeah, they say Bwiti. So Bwiti is the name of the tradition, and it's basically the study of life. And they use Iboga, which is a very powerful medicine that's used to bring people into the spiritual world. And when you're in the spiritual world, which we all live in, when you're in the spiritual world, like you get an opportunity to see the truth and see life for what it is. And that's when also you see that you have the ability to look into your mind and brain and see what is really a belief system or what's the truth. A lot of times people are living off like belief systems where they have very negative thought patterns. This completely always put them down and leads them to making bad choices such as drugs. So by doing Iboga and getting the opportunity to go into the spiritual world and see your life for what it is and see how good you are, like you're actually a spirit who's a part of the spiritual world. So
what took you to Africa to go and hang with the Widi tribe? And we put up a picture here. That's a pretty cool group of people. You can see they're very they like to decorate their bodies, and I'm sure it was a pretty special time with them. But what ultimately and originally took you to Africa to go and hang out with these guys?
Well, originally, 12 years ago, I'm from the Hammer Town too. I don't know if you knew that.
I did, yeah.
Shakespeare's is pretty much like it's probably my favorite restaurant. We were there for his 50th anniversary last year. My dad there. Anyways, growing up in the Hammer Town, and then drinking was sort of like I don't know if you remember Gage Park, and they had that green fountain in the middle.
Of course, Festival of Friends.
Yeah, so it's like basically there's a lot of drinking I grew up with, and a little bit of alcohol, and then a lot of cocaine, and these kind of things. And I was kind of up and down. I would do bad at school and be good at school, do bad at school.
Hey, Mark, can I interrupt you for a second? Oh, there you go. You're back. You cut out there for a second. I couldn't hear you. It sounded different.
Yeah, so basically, I would just have up and downs at school, and I eventually decided Well, when I was 37, I was going to have a child unexpectedly, and I decided to change my life. I said, you know what? I mean, I don't want to bring my child into this world and teach him all this kind of like, I'm not saying Hamilton is like the reason, but it's definitely, it was a rough and tough place, and people grew up differently back in those days. And, all my family is from Steeltown, seven uncles and fathers and grandfather, all from Stelco, longshoremen. So I decided, you know what, like, I need to do something different to change my life. And that's when I discovered Iboga. I heard about it, and I went to Costa Rica and did multiple sessions and realized that, you know what, the truth is what I needed to set me free. So I went on a journey and adventure to learn how to use this medicine, and that led me to Africa on 4 separate occasions thus far, to go very deep and to learn from, traditional shamans how to use this medicine. And so I've been working since approximately 2013 doing my own ceremonies and working with a lot of addictions. But I mean, the medicine's not just for addictions. It's for, even if you're perfect and happy, go do the medicine and embrace your soul.
Yeah, and that's just it. And I want to get into all that. I mean, Iboga, just because you do it or go to an Iboga retreat or Iboga retreat, listen, the benefits are massive for PTSD, addictions, alcoholism. But again, like you mentioned, you don't have to be fucked up or have any of those symptoms to go and enjoy the benefits of it. So I got to ask you, you go to Africa, you're there doing this, and it obviously helped you. And you met a wonderful lady there, Robin, who you married there in the jungle 2 years later. That's a pretty wild experience in itself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all wild. You know what I mean? But I tell you, like, waking up in ditches and in the drunk tank is the worst wild. You know what I mean? It's or feeling shame and guilt and frustration and not be able to make proper choices in your life, and almost like that feeling of like not knowing what to do and not moving forward in your life with no purpose, without really aligning to what you're capable of, right?
Yeah.
That was worse for me. So as hard as this was in the beginning, the thing is, it's like a reverse hangover. Like, you do the medicine and you feel hungover first, and then you feel better later.
So like, what is it like? You're in the jungle of Africa, which, from Hammertown, where you're from in Hamilton, it's a lot different out there than it is Hamilton, mister. They look like wonderful people. Was it pretty special there? Were you ever scared, or how did, like, your first time doing Iboga, you never done it, you go to Africa, and like, it must have been pretty special but scary, yeah?
Well, I went to Costa Rica first, and I did Iboga.
You did it
I did
in Costa
Iboga in
Rica.
Costa Rica probably about 10 times before I went to Africa. And then,
shit, okay.
But nothing will prepare you for Africa. I mean, you're far away from home. You know what I mean? There's no calling mom. But that's what you need. You need to get blown right out of the matrix. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to get blown right out of the matrix, right out of all the belief systems, right out of everything, and then realize how much of a spiritual person you are inside this body, this physical body.
Yeah. So
and then,
I'm dying to know, because I had a ayahuasca shaman on about a month ago, and I've done ayahuasca twice. I've never done Iboga, but I got to know is there the similarities? Because with ayahuasca, you do it, you throw up violently, you go to the bathroom and shit your brains out as well. What's the side effects or anything that happens with Iboga? Is there anything like that, or is it completely?
Well, these purges are all like all these throw-ups. Like, you're detoxing things mentally, spiritually, physically, psychologically. So they have those similarities, but they also, both those medicines bring you to a closer connection of God or something bigger, and then you realize yourself as a part of it, and it gives you awareness beyond, just being your thoughts. You're actually observing your thoughts and watching your thoughts and controlling your thoughts. But they're entirely different medicines in terms of, like, the reality of them. Like, if some girl went on a date with Bondzee and then went on a date with me, no matter how much, we're human, we have those similarities, feet, head, we're different, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, that's what the medicines, I mean, they have similarities, but they're very different. And Iboga is a powerful medicine to really help you blow through the perspectives that have shaped you. Right, and then be able to choose the ones you want to keep, and be able to choose the ones you want to forge forward with. All the depression and misery that people sit with is when, some of it's it's from a good connection with self-love with themselves, not living like always grinding through thoughts that don't like they're doing things that don't like if they're if their soul is telling them to do something and they kind of go against it.
Is it in the sense like when I did ayahuasca, there's a mother ayahuasca. Is there something in charge with Iboga, or is it how does the benefits from Iboga work in the grand sense? And also I want to know, how many times, Mark, do you really have to do it? Is it a one-time thing? Or do you have to do it 10 times to be fixed? How does that work?
Well, that's very dependent on the level of where you're at. So people have a very rigid mind, and they're going to take them a while to let go and to really accept and understand it. Some people are like, they do it the first time and they'll accept it and they see the messages and it clicks, and then they're able to apply that on their normal everyday life. But yeah. I do it. I've done it 1,000 times because I do it every time I do a ceremony, and it keeps me in focus and rechecking. What do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What do you want to attain? You know what I mean? It's just going to get cleaner and more vivid for you.
Clear for sure. So you get back from Africa and you've done it so many times in Costa Rica, and then you go to Africa and have this huge spiritual thing for sure. You find the woman of your life, your dreams, and now you're back in Canada. How did you ever flip it all around so that you start a business, and now the amount of people you helped is countless, and we'll get into that more in a bit, but how did you make that transition and were that guy who was able to do that?
Well, I mean, that guy was there. That guy is more me than what was happening. Iboga allowed me to see that. Iboga allowed me to see the truth about who I was, and then to accept it, and then to continue that way. You know what I mean? 1 second. Did they call already? Are they there?
So you come back, you got this calling to this medicine. You turn it into healing so many people and starting this business. You opened a retreat in Mexico, and you work on helping people with that have addictions, PTSD, trauma, etc. Like myself. I really do find that fascinating. Let's talk about the place down in Mexico, because I got a question here. Gregory Dean wants to know, how can we book an appointment in Mexico? So could you tell us a little bit about the retreat that you started down there, and how people can be a part of it and go there?
The retreat that I started down there in Mexico is a very accessible place in Cabo, and the medicine is basically legal. We're not getting any resistance from using it. It's the place we got is right on the ocean, and it's surrounded by mountains. It's very serene. So that offers a really good place to kind of get there and go and separate from your life wherever you are. You want to unplug from the matrix and get a good perspective on who you really are as a human. Medicine is all about, what the Bwiti means is the study of life. And so when I discovered who I was, it only fit that I began to share this with people, because I realized the potential this medicine has to save us. This medicine is a gift for humanity. It's a gift for us to realize our spiritual potential and then accept and engage in it. And then, intertwine that into our daily lives so we walk a more spiritual path. What does spirituality mean? It means being real in reality. It means no bullshit. You know what I mean? Like our friend Pat, you know what I mean? That guy was a beautiful, beautiful soul. And, and unfortunately, a lot of trauma and things led to, some hardships in his life, because he put himself out there and did things to help others that was beyond any human's call. He's one of those people. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I want to be able to help and build a community that has better values in it and is able to help people on multiple different levels across the board than the system that we have in place now. I'm not knocking the system we have in place. I'm just saying we can do better, because those of us out there have been blessed to know the magic of these medicines, know that there's a safe solution that blows anything out of the water that we have going on right now. That's just the way it is.
It sure is. And so it's called Iboga Soul. It's in Mexico. And listen, I'm not sure if it was that one in particular, but in 2016 was probably the darkest I've ever been, suffering from my PTSD and stuff. And I almost went to one of these retreats. It was an Iboga retreat. and I almost went, but I would say sadly, but not sadly, I changed it and decided to go to Costa Rica for 2 months on my own sort of journey to refine myself and stuff. I almost died instead of finding myself, but that's a whole different story. But listen, I think it's something that I would love to go be a part of one day. People can find it online.
Well, we can you come there, we'll do a podcast from there. You know what I mean? We're at the brink, we're at the precipice of this mighty new old, renaissance of like the reality. Like, it's not like we synthetically grow these medicines. This medicine straight out of the earth. And people can contact me on info@ibogasol or mark@ibogasol. And, it's very difficult to put into, to explain to someone the value and benefits. But what you can tell someone is that, listen, everyone knows how to recognize the truth. And the truth is that you're better than you think. And all you need is love. And the best way to protect yourself is to love yourself, because you put the most value towards yourself. And then if you put it towards yourself, you know how to give it to other people. So these medicines help us love ourselves and realize that we're spiritual beings that deserve love. And sometimes you just need to unplug from the matrix to be able to see it.
It's pretty special. So it's Iboga Soul. It's in Mexico. The contact info is right there, info@ibogasol.com, or they can check you out on Instagram and stuff as well. Before I let you go, I know you got to pick up some important people at the airport, and I really do appreciate you doing this on the fly to help me out, because I was live here at the Hip Bar tonight in San Juan. But, I also got to bring it up. You're licensed in Canada, if I'm correct, to carry Iboga, from what I understand. How did that work out, and how did you get to have that license?
When it's all paper wafers at this point, I wouldn't go say licensing nothing. But what I'm doing now is picking up some hereditary chiefs, and there's a First Nation Indigenous conference this week, today and tomorrow. And I'm actually the founder of Universal Iboga. They're the closest business that's public right now that's getting Health Canada's approval to use Iboga. So I wouldn't normally be driving around in a truck on an interview, but I'm going to pick them up and help them out, because we're going to get this legalized in Canada. And then when I find out the real answer about legally carrying Iboga, I'll give you that to you.
It's so is it sketchy when you go to the borders and stuff, and do you have to declare it, or do you declare it, or do you just waltz through knowing that you've got the gold ticket in your pocket?
We live in the Wild West right now. I've had some really funny stories. I've had some heads kicked off when they smell it, not know what it is, and all sorts of different things. But we're managing right now. But right now, I'm working on the legalization, and I'm just about to pick some people up to help us with that.
So you did this documentary too with Pat. We talked about it at the beginning, called The Psychedelic Frontier. You're a big part of that. It aired on City TV. It's an amazing documentary. I highly recommend people check it out on YouTube. Psychedelic Frontier. What was it like shooting that and working with Pat, knowing his trauma and the stuff he went through, and just videotaping it? Was it weird to videotape it in somebody's house, first of all? Like, is that something you do often, or is that just a special thing?
No, it's very difficult to do, but the thing is, like, to be able to get it out there so that people can understand the value of this medicine it trumps everything else. And Pat was an amazing person, and it was worth doing it. You know what I mean? Like, we'll have to. It's such a very complex, long, intertwined story that really holds so much value. We'll have to have another. I think we'll have to have another call, and where I can sit down and really, like, that's a nice picture. Sit down and focus on some of the, like, amazing things that happen, and in due course, I think it'd be really cool to, like, talk about Pat and some of the benefits and that really came from this and help them.
Yeah. Well, it's a pretty special drug. It definitely has helped a lot of people. I got to ask you, how many people do you think has rolled through your place in Mexico, and how many people have you helped around the world?
This year, but I've probably worked with 1,000 people at some point over the years. So.
Wow. It's pretty amazing, man. It really is special. And so with this, the derivative of it that you're trying to bring to Canada and get legalized and you're working on right now, how close are we with that?
Well, I'll find out in the next couple of days. Probably maybe within 6 months, I would imagine. Maybe hopefully the year.
Okay. The Iboga again, which is, and it comes there, it is right there and stuff. And it really has been known to help so many people. Listen, man, I got to say what you're doing and what you've done is pretty special. Not only did you turn your whole life around, but you've helped so many people around the world. You've got this amazing retreat. I'm pretty sure I've already got some people signed up and that want to come, and I want to come and do it myself as well.
You guys will be stoked. It's really worth it for what it is, and it'll change your life in such a positive way. And I really would hope maybe you'll have me on again, and we can have a more calm discussion without me having it circling the airport trying to pick people up.
It's all good. So we'll have you back on when you're not on the road and I'm not in a in a windstorm here at a live bar, and we'll delve more deeper into it and get the word out there, and we'll really promote the actual place down in Mexico. Like I said, I'd love to come down there and experience it, and I know some friends of mine would too. So looking forward to that. It's Iboga Soul in Mexico. Look, it's been a real pleasure having you on, man. People can go to info@ibogasoul.com.
It's a wonderful relationship, my friend.
All right, you take care, bud. Thanks for joining us. All right, see you, man. Well, there you go. Talk about doing an interview on the fly. It was either cancel again this week where I would have blown my brains out. I'd be like, no, we can't cancel. So I was lucky enough for him to do it on the road, so I apologize for the sound and everything. It was supposed to definitely be worked out a little better than that. But, hey, listen, it is what it is when you do a podcast on the fly and live, right? So that's just the way it works out. All right. I think we wrapped up the whole flight school bullshit before we got to that interview. Why don't we do I'd love to talk about Super Bowl before I get out of here. We'll show a couple of funny videos. And, hey, Kenny, how the hell are you, buddy? Nice to see you. Good old Kenny just walked in, everybody. Let's check out some comments because it's hard to bounce all over the place. Gregory's in there. Is there one in Costa Rica still? Yeah, I think there is, but it's not Mark Howard. So, Greg, we got to go to the one in Mexico for sure. Stop it already. All right. Super Bowl. I know it's a couple days late, but still, we already made fun of the Valentine's losers that went out yesterday and spent way too much money, right, Ken? You and me were not one of those people. There's nothing worse than wasting. Like, I don't think there's a better word for the terminology of wasting money for Valentine's Day. It's the biggest farce in the fucking planet. It's even more fake than the Easter Bunny and fucking Santa Claus, bro. Oh, okay. You just handed him out like a Casanova, did you, big guy? Attaboy. Casanova Kenny over here in the crowd. I love it. So listen, let's talk Super Bowl. It was was the best Super Bowl I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've been a NFL fan since 2009. No, 2009. I don't even know where I got that number right now. I've been an NFL fan since grade 9. That's what I meant to say, not 2009. Anyways, this matchup between you got your boy Patrick Mahomes, you got Jalen Hurts, two of the best quarterbacks arguably in the league. You know, you got Brady was up there, but probably the worst season he's ever had in his life. For sure. Anyways, what an amazing game. I know Philly fans are screaming bloody murder because the holding call at the end, but listen, it was holding. I watched it 100 times, and even the player who held the guy said it was holding. So all these Philly fans that are crying the blues and flipping cars over and burning shit down, you can fuck right off. Stop it already because it's enough. The player said, yes, I held him. I even grabbed him twice. He admitted it. Anyways, it wasn't a missed call. And if it was a missed call, Kansas City be crying the blues right now, probably. But listen, that's how it goes. Boo-hoo Eagles fans. And listen, I think you deserve to lose because you were burning down and flipping cars before the game even started. That's bad karma, Kenny. That's bad karma. I didn't know I'd be doing the show talking to Kenny tonight, but that's how it goes when you do a live show. Listen, not only that, at the end of the game, there were so many, Listen, before I get to the end of the game, Philadelphia could have easily put their foot on Kansas City's throat. They could have went up 21-10, but no, 21-3. Fucking Hurts fumbles the ball, gives it to Kansas City. Kansas City comes back and scores. Now they're only 3 down. Not only that, Kansas City missed a field goal, which usually regular season, especially playoffs, gets a death. Those 3 points, super important. He hits a field goal. You could hear that thing ring through the entire stadium. It was unbelievable. It just went, bong, Anyways, Philly had so many chances to win that game and should have won that game, quite frankly. I'm not even a Phillies fan. I was rooting for KC, but you fucking blew it. You got out-coached. You got out-quarterbacked. More a second half than the first. And listen, speaking of quarterbacks, you tackled Patrick Mahomes so bad at one point, the guy went to the bench screaming bloody murder. Remember that, Kenny? In agony, he's back, he's like, he's screaming like he got shot out there. Anyways, halftime comes, saved his ass, goes in, gets probably a couple doses of morphine, whatever they do in the magical dressing room, right? He comes back, looks amazing in the second half, and Patrick Mahomes damn near won them the game. Got to give shout out to Kelsey too. God damn it. Isn't he one of the best tight ends in the league? Good Lord. Ever since Gronk left, Kelsey's number one. He had an amazing game, Kenny? Anyways, that touchdown at the end that was a pass or holding, that was holding for sure. Not only that play, but the time management by this coach right here, Mr. Reed himself. This guy is unbelievable. And you know what? There's one more person, and I meant to put up his picture and talk about him, and I forgot because I was in a rush. But the player that went down, remember this play, Kenny? He went down on the 2-yard line. He could have scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. His first one ever. He could have told his grandkids, scored a goddamn touchdown, Super Bowl, I'm a hero. But you know what he did? Time management, baby. The smarts. He fucking dove to the ground, stops the clock, or keeps the clock running, burns more time. One of the most unselfish plays, probably the most unselfish play I've ever seen in NFL history, and helped them win the Super Bowl. And then they scored the touchdown, and that guy got a Super Bowl ring instead of a stupid story where, oh, hey, kids, I scored a touchdown, but, and then they came back and beat us, because that could have happened. Anyways, kudos to that guy. Kudos to Coach Reed, who may now retire, but he certainly deserved that Super Bowl win for sure, the way he time managed that game and the entire second half. They figured out Philly's defense, which wasn't easy to do. Not too many people could have or did it this year for sure. So congrats to Patrick Mahomes and the rest of the Kansas City Chiefs. I thought it was one of the greatest games, easily the best Super Bowl ever. And I'd be remiss if I didn't bring it up, but watching it at Twanny's, and I know I'm at the hip bar, but shout out to Twanny's. They certainly had it set up. It was one of them. I got to see it with my best bro there, Tywad. And look, folks, look at the screen. Shout out to Chris Stapleton, too, for one of the greatest national anthems. Love that guy to death. And, my view of this game, huge, massive screen. The sound system didn't suck. It was just an all-around epic fucking Super Bowl. And God damn it, did we ever have a good time. Really did love it. And that's probably all I got to say on the Super Bowl, I think. Except the Phillies fans. Listen, you're all idiots. I love you, though, because it just makes sports more fun. And listen, you still got a great team. I still think, I'll throw it out here right now, I bet you Philadelphia might be back. There's probably back in the Super Bowl next year. Their team's that good. And it could be a Super Bowl or a Philly-Kansas City matchup again. We'll see how the Bills do, because they're still in it, even though they blew it this year. Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals still look good. So, I think the parity, the NFL's parity right now is probably the best I've ever seen it in a long, long time. And I think we're in for another great season of football next year. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, bad karma on the Philly fans for sure. They blew it. They deserve to win. They simply didn't win. And that's on them. Too bad. Boo-hoo. Listen, even the whole call, every Philly fan can sit there and cry the blues. Oh, the whole call called us. Oh, the whole call cost us a game. No, it didn't. The entire game where you fucking blew it time after time blew the game for you. And that's why you don't have a Super Bowl ring, and the Kansas City Chiefs will for sure. Exactly. He did admit to it. All right. I got to play, folks, snakes. I don't even know why I agreed to do this. I really don't. I am absolutely terrified of snakes. I hate them more than anything on this planet. But there's this video that, and I am getting better from it since we talked about Iboga tonight, and I did the ayahuasca that sort of helped me with my fear of snakes. It's not even a fear. I'm completely terrified. Usually if I see them, I'm going to have nightmares. So we'll see what happens with this, but at least I got assholes out there. I mean, friends out there that love to terrify me and tease me and send me crazy videos of snakes. But I got to say, this one takes the cake more than ever than I've ever seen before in my life. Let me set this up here. I just got to share the screen. Make sure I get it right here. Anyways, this is just the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my life. Hold on. I'm doing this alone, so let me set it up here, share that, and watch this. Like, I can't. It's literally, I don't even know. It's like 80 feet long, it looks like. It's about this rounded size, and it fell out of the goddamn ceiling. I'm trying my best not to look at it, but I don't know if it's a python. I don't know if it's 800 pythons. I don't know if it's a boa constrictor, but it falls out of this. It looks like something that could happen here in Nicaragua for sure. I still can't, I don't even know how to comprehend this goddamn video right now at all. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Anyways, thanks to all the assholes. I mean, my friends out there for sending me this video. I think what's funny enough, Ben, is I've seen this video now about 30 times, and I am getting better at looking at it, and I haven't had any scary dreams yet. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, I think I've shown that enough. I just stopped showing it because, God damn it, I'm destined to have nightmares tonight for sure. I was talking about Nicaragua earlier, and I forgot to show this, but one of the best things here is the sunsets, folks. I'm telling you. I think what I'll do for next show maybe is I'll put together a collage of all the amazing sunsets I've seen here over my time of coming here. But, I mean, look at this picture. I'm super blessed. Huge shout out to Pat and Paul for letting me stay at their house up in off the Chocolata up above Nakascola Bay. It's a blessed place. Super lucky and blessed to stay there, and God bless them for having me. I really love you guys, and so appreciative of getting to stay there. All right, let's do you know what? I got to do this because I forgot last show. We got some people watching. We got some people here. My brand new son. He's not so brand new anymore, Ken. He's 24. Anyways, he put out a brand new video that I forgot to play when I promoted it last week or 2 weeks ago now, I think, since I did a show, because traveling last week, couldn't say where I was going and couldn't do a show because I was traveling here. And then internet problems. Anyways, I think we should get to this next without further ado. It's my son's video, shot in California. It's where he's living right now. He's in LA. This video is amazing. Check this out. Here it is. It's Ty Bond. It's called Wanna Know. Oh, let me put it on full video and then we'll be good to go. Right there, and go.
you ain't changed shit. I'm a star, give a fuck what you thinking. I don't do all of that chasing. What's meant to be, it come to me and that ain't changing. But shit, I don't entertain you lames. I be on my way and I know they know the same thing. Yeah, yeah. If we be on our way and they all know where we really headed, yeah, we just flow. Always keep it moving till we can't no more. I'm lying on this weed while I'm dreaming on. We be on our way and they all know where we really headed, yeah, we just flow. Always keep it moving till we can't no more. I'm lying on this weed while I'm dreaming on. They just wanna know. 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 Look, when I pull a smoke coming out of the drop top, and the money is coming in, yeah, that's non-stop. When he's smoking the loudest, read out this atmosphere. Ain't nobody touching my level, boy, I be out of here, yeah. One look at your girl and now we out of here. Ain't nobody fresher than tea, don't even try to compare. My business bigger, my money longer, my weed stronger. I'm soon stacking these millions up, yeah, I been on it. And we be on our way and they all know where we really headed, yeah, we just flow. Always keep it moving till we can't no more. I'm lying on this weed while I'm dreaming on. We be on our way and they all know where we really headed, yeah, we just flow. Always keep it moving till we can't no more. I'm lying on this weed while I'm dreaming on. They just wanna know.
That's my boy Ty Bond. It's called Wanna Know. He's in LA right now. He's shooting some more stuff, making music. So proud of him. Ty Bond. Check him out. YouTube. Please subscribe. Check him out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. Kids going places for sure. And I think coming tomorrow or the next day, my youngest son Brad's dropping a brand new song. And he's actually shooting a video with Trusty Truster, who most of you who watch his show have seen. Trusty has been on here numerous times as a guest, co-host. Love that guy to death. And he is shooting a video for Brad coming up in Toronto shortly. So I'm really looking forward to that. My son says, thank you, Dad. Anytime, son. Super proud of him. That's my boy. It's called Wanna Know. That video is fire. They're all fire. He's got so many bangers. Please go check him out on YouTube. It's the shit for sure. Lisa Holgate says, cool song and video. Your boy's got it. He's a big deal. He really is. And listen, he got it from this. It's not hard to figure out for sure. And he's a bit of his dad for sure. He's got a bit of it. And I'm so proud of him. He's super talented. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got coming up this year for sure. 2023 is going to be a big one for him, definitely. All right, couple of videos before we get out of here, and that's it. That's all. And then next week, really looking forward. We got some great guests coming up. I'm going fishing tomorrow. I got to work all weekend, but not a big deal. It's so much better when you have to work all weekend here in paradise instead of working back home in the fucking freezing cold and the snow and all that bullshit. Anyways, let's play a couple more videos here before we get out. What do you got? We got it. This one's crazy. I think this guy has some major anger management problems. Check this out. See if I can get it on here. Oh, it's up. Watch this dude. He just absolutely freaks out. So he smashes one tennis racket on the court. And listen, I don't have a producer anymore, so sorry that the videos are small. But my old producer, he's a bit of a bitch, and we had to get rid of him. And but look at the anger on this guy. That's the second racket. He's got one more. Oh no, he busted 3 rackets, and now he's all done. Buddy, I think anger management classes would be your friend for sure. What else do we got? Okay. Snake videos. Check this out. This is, I don't understand this, folks. Like, why do people let their kids do this? What is humanly wrong with people that have to have snakes this goddamn large? And the kids just sitting there. You wouldn't see my ass for dust, Kenny. I'd be over like 3 counties by now. And the kids just sitting there playing with a goddamn snake like it's not even a big deal. One more before I get the hell out of here. What's this one? Okay, this guy, his day didn't go so well. He thought he's a hero. He thought he can lasso this thing. It just simply goes wrong. But he goes ass over tea kettle, and his daughter just completely makes fun of him in the background. Absolutely hilarious. All right, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm going to go party for a little bit before I go home, and that's it. That's all. It's Bondzee Live, Trippin' with Bondzee. We're live from the hip, San Juan Del Sur. I can't thank Mark Howard enough for joining us whilst on the road. Pretty special guy to talk to. And I'm really looking forward to possibly doing a show from Mexico at the retreat. And I'm going to do some Iboga myself, and maybe we'll document the whole thing and see how it goes. Maybe we can fix this, eh, Kenny? I don't know if there's any fixing it, but hey, hell, who knows? We'll see. All right, Corey the Aussie, big shout out to him tonight for helping me with the setup. We were having some sound technical difficulties earlier, so God bless him. Thanks, Greg and Melissa, the owners of the Hip Bar, for having me here, helping me out today as well and promoting this show. Thanks for Kenny here to showing up. Thanks to everybody in the Hip Bar for showing up tonight, the bartenders, the cooks, everybody. God, I love y'all. I love being here in San Juan Del Sur. Really looking forward to the shows coming up. We got some great musicians, great guests coming up. And I think that's it. That's all. Let's get the hell out of here. Thanks to everybody again for watching. Thanks to my sponsors. We got Shakespeare's Fine Dining. We got the Hip Bar. And we also got Scramble Golf. Make sure you go to www.scrambleclothing.com and you can get some sick swag like this. You can be part of the squad life. These are my, and above your service too, of course. But go to Scramble Clothing. That's Scramble with a K. And get yourself some swag. They got amazing beachwear, surfwear, golf wear, and it's men's, ladies, kids, the whole 9 yards. Go check it out. Get yourself some swag. Be part of the squad for life, Scramble Clothing. All right, that's it. That's all. It's Bondzee. Bondzee Live, Trippin' with Bondzee on YouTube. Peace and love. Bye. Hold on. I fucked up. You got to play this guy's first.
What was that?
That was very strange.
It was very weird.
It was peculiar.
It was kind of amusing.
Yes, it was rather funny.
It was incredibly funny.
I loved it.
Hilarious. Wonderful.